My name is Dave Tran, and this is Lex TV, shedding and spreading light for the chiropractic student. We have chiropractor Dr. Richard Burns calling from Davenport, Iowa. Dr. Burns, welcome to Lex TV.
Well, good morning. Appreciate being here.
Yeah, so thank you so much for doing this. Yeah, so let's get straight to it. How did you get involved in chiropractic?
Well, I'll try to keep it short. I was a so-called math whiz in high school, and I was offered an engineering scholarship at University of Illinois when I was 16 years old. I just couldn't see starting college at 16, so I went my last year to high school, and an American Problems teacher wanted us to write a paper on our profession. I procrastinated, and the night before the paper's due, I thought, where am I going to get anything on engineering? But my grandfather was a 1924 graduate of Palmer College of Chiropractic. I thought, the teacher never know the difference. So I just telling him I'm going to be a chiropractor. So I went up to Grandpa's office and got a bunch of, they called them health tracts, really disease tracts, like asthma and you and stuff like that. So I don't know why they call them health tracts. And got D.D. Palmer's 1910 Chiropractic Adjuster and read through that, wrote a paper, and turned down the scholarship the next week.
Oh, wow.
And so gave up a free ride to pay tuition. My parents were ticked.
And then you started at Palmer College. And when did you graduate from there?
1973.
So what was it like going to Palmer in the early 70s, late 60s?
Oh, it was fantastic because everybody was there for the same purpose. You know, everybody in my class either had chiropractic in their family or had been helped by chiropractic, except for one person. And we looked at him like, how'd he get here?
Yeah.
Because it was part, chiropractic is a lifestyle, not a profession. And so it was very strange to have that one student that just came because he thought it'd be a good profession.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was in clinic and I was seeing a first trimester here at Texas Chiropractic College, and I was her first adjustment. Or I gave her first adjustment, which kind of boggles my mind still, because I think that's I guess it could be good and bad, because it looks like we are becoming slowly mainstream, reaching out to people like, okay, well, that seems like a good career that I should pursue, but I'm not sure I would enroll in chiropractic school without actually receiving care.
I'd sure want to know what it was about before I started.
Exactly.
And this one person talked about he'd never been adjusted either.
Yeah.
But the advantage I had back then is all my professors were chiropractors, and majority of them were practicing chiropractors, and all of them had practiced at that time. So even though we had chiropractic philosophy courses, which were great, taught by Dr. Galen Price and Dr. Virgil Strang, philosophy was a silver thread that went through all the courses, because each professor brought the practice of chiropractic into the classroom. So you just didn't learn about digestive problems. You learned about how they say, well, what do you think? You have a patient with a digestive problem. What areas do you think? Of course, everybody always thinks direct nerve. They take, T6. He says, no, remember that vagus nerve. And so, our entire education was focused on the practice of chiropractic.
Yeah, and that's kind of far from where we're at today, which is unfortunate.
Extremely far.
Yeah. So I people always ask me why do I travel on the weekends, which I did to come visit you in Davenport as well. It's because I feel like I have to go off campus to actually learn about chiropractic, which is kind of a shame. Yeah. You have a beautiful background behind you. So where are you speaking from?
I'm at the Delta Sigma Chi Fraternity House in Davenport, Iowa.
Yeah, and so you are a Delt, and then
I'm an honorary brother of the Delta Sigma Chi, yes.
Oh, great. And then I know Anthony kind of helps you get all set up. That's a beautiful background, which is awesome. That's one of the big things that I saw when I came to Palmer, was it's just a rich history.
Extremely rich.
Yeah, and a lot of times some students confuse the difference between what chiropractic philosophy is versus what chiropractic history is. And I know that you are very involved with the philosophy diplomate. Would you talk about that a little bit?
Well, philosophy, you have to understand the definition, is pursuit of knowledge. And so philosophy actually includes science and art. So the philosophy diplomat program, the first step is a one-year program that was started at Palmer College of Chiropractic by Dr. Guy Reekman and Fred Barge. It was called the Legion of Chiropractic Philosophers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then that program was so popular, they decided to expand it into a diplomat program, a 3-year program. Palmer no longer has the LCP program, and Sherman College of Chiropractic has the ACP, Academy of Chiropractic Philosophers, which is the 1-year program.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a nonprofit corporation, that puts on the diplomat course now, and it's still going strong.
Yeah. I know Eric Russell, or Dr. Eric Russell, had kind of started one as well down in Dallas, which is kind of in my backyard, which I'm hoping to start sometime
That's
next
great.
year. Yeah, and I just missed the IRAPs at Sherman this past weekend, so hopefully I can make it in the future for sure.
It's a great conference.
Yeah, and so if any students are interested in that, I'll definitely put some links in the show notes below. I know you have positively impacted a lot of students. As soon as I kind of made mention of it on my fan page that I would be interviewing you, like a lot of people are excited. What do you see? Like what are some common questions that you have seen that students would always kind of ask you? Kind of going through teaching them and so forth.
After 40 years of teaching, I've had thousands of questions, so it's hard to narrow that one down. But I think the biggest thing that students need is patient education, or how to educate the patient. And it's communication. The sad part is majority of your success in practice will be based on your communication skills, more than your technical skills, which is a sad state of affairs, because I know some very technically sound chiropractors that have poor communication skills, and they kind of struggle in practice.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen others that have the gift of gab that have big practices, but aren't necessarily delivering the results. So I think you have to be good with heart, head, and hands.
Yeah.
But heart's always first.
Yeah, and communication is huge, and as well as like I took a tour of your office, and I saw that, and you also mentioned that you were a Gonstead practitioner.
Primarily, yeah.
Yeah, primarily. So how did you kind of come upon using Gonstead in practice?
Okay. Well, I graduated June 1973, but Illinois was a very difficult state to get into back then. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't going to be able to sit the Illinois board till October of 74. And so I started teaching just to have something involved with chiropractic until I got my Illinois license. And Dr. Gonstead was kind enough to give faculty members complimentary registration to the seminars.
Oh, wow.
And so I thought, oh, good. A weekend in Wisconsin, that'll be great. All right. And my first seminar, he won me over because I was a diversified practitioner when I graduated, and, didn't really, have much thought of Gonstead or anything like that. And the first seminar I went up there, and Dr. Gonstead, if you don't know about his practice, he saw patients before the seminar, at breaks, at lunch, after the seminar. His primary focus was always taking care of patients. Mm-hmm. And so they called him downstairs, and he opens the seminar and he starts talking about this quadriplegic from Mexico he was taking care of. And a lot of chiropractors have war stories and stuff like that about patients they took care of. Well, at break, I go upstairs, and there's that kid sitting in a wheelchair. So it wasn't something that happened 2 years ago, or it was just that day. He was talking about who he's seeing that day. I go back 2 months later to the seminar, and I see that young man walking with a cane in the reception room. So, that just sold chiropractic philosophy. There was no limitations, and I still practice that way. There hasn't been one. I had a student ask me about 3 years ago, have you ever had a patient who wouldn't adjust? And I had to sit and think, and there wasn't one. If they have a subluxation, they need adjusted.
Yeah, absolutely. And then going back to the philosophy portion of chiropractic, I know a lot of students are, like you had said, are confused about the philosophy of chiropractic, the study of wisdom. So, like, what would you say to students if they wanted to kind of like learn more about chiropractic philosophy? What should they do?
Well, as a student, it's difficult because you're bogged down with academics all the time. But
yeah.
A good start is Stevenson's Chiropractic textbook is an excellent book. But the book I would recommend for a beginner, that's, all respect to Stevenson, that might be better for, a beginning student, be Life Without Fear by Fred Barge. Matter of fact, I did a review of our philosophy curriculum at Palmer some time ago, And I recommend that as the freshman text. I think it's the best book to get somebody started.
Yeah.
Life Without Fear by Fred Barge.
Yeah. And I know his daughter, Dr. Patty Barge, is still, keeping it going strong. So I'll definitely put a link to that below so they could order that, and she'll ship it right over to anywhere in the United States.
Yeah, Patty's a wonderful person.
Yeah. And then one of the things that I always like to ask chiropractors is what would be their greatest advice for a student now that's getting ready to graduate. I know that you kind of alluded to communication, but what would you say to a student that's getting ready to graduate, or your greatest advice for them?
Have a mentor. Go and shadow somebody in practice. And by shadowing somebody in practice, you're going to learn what you want to do, and sometimes you're going to learn what you don't want to do. But it's going to be a learning experience no matter what. Every evening in my office, I have interns, shadow me. And my first time I did this years ago, I thought, oh, I bet they're so bored. Again, they're talking about, oh, I learned this. I have so many things I do automatically I don't think about, and that's what they pick up on. So it's the communication and the positive attitude toward taking care of patients and those things. So have a mentor is a big thing.
Mm-hmm. And what would be your greatest wish for chiropractic?
To get back to practicing chiropractic, it just breaks my heart to see that there's even the talk of drugs coming into our practice. When I was a student, there was always the big straight mixer debate, and, you did hands only versus, you did therapies. And the thought of drugs ever coming into the profession was even thought of. And I don't think that it was anybody's even wildest dream at that point in time. And the fact that we're even discussing it just makes me sick right now. Is osteopathy's already gone that path. Mm-hmm. Is osteopathy used to be a separate philosophy, and they got absorbed by the medical profession. Now they don't have an identity. So if you lose your identity, or lose your principles, you're going to lose your identity. Mm-hmm. And I see the same thing happen to chiropractic. So I would love to see all the chiropractic colleges getting back to teaching the chiropractic principles, talk about mental impulse again, and get the colleges big like they used to be. I was just reading an article about osteopathy schools are growing at a rapid pace right now and turning students away. And when they interview the students, they says, I'm anxious to help people with my hands. And I'm sitting there thinking, they're talking about their hands, and here we're wanting to do drugs. And, we should really place our chiropractic college marketing on that, going back to helping people with the hands, because chiropractic definition is done by hand.
Exactly.
And, if you get good at chiropractic, you get good at your adjusting skills, you'll never even think about using it. There's not been one time in 41 years I thought, boy, I sure wish I had a drug to give that patient. I'm just, we've gotten away from the art. Because when I was a student, we practiced our thrust an hour every night. We had things that were called speeder boards to develop our speed. We just practiced it all the time. We always worked on our technique, always worked on our philosophy. Sciences, not so much. But we've gotten away from that, and I see what used to be specific adjusting, become manipulation. Chiropractic is specific or is nothing.
Yeah. And any last words that you want to kind of share with any of the students out there?
Well, if there's any students who would like advice, I'd be happy to, work with them. My email is Burns, BURNS, the letter J, Richard @gmail.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Burns, for sharing your light with us today. If you want more information, I'll definitely put his contact information in the show notes below. Every week, I'll be uploading a new interview with another leader in the chiropractic profession. If you like this video, please share it with your classmates, give this video a thumbs up, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. My name is Dave Tran, and this was Lux TV, shedding and spreading light.